Okay. No problem.
Hey, Lynette.
Hi there, Jen. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Doing well.
One thing we noticed on the agenda under staff item, the
Yeah.
Strauss Park tree removal ceremony. I had that date on there before, so we just need to change it. Whenever you hear back.
Oh.
You know?
Just correct, yeah.
Yeah.
TBD. Hi, Deanne.
Eliminate.
I'm good, thank you. How are you? Okay. There's a lot of echo in your audio. Oh, Fred. Um,
Good evening, Lynette.
Good evening. So do you have a guess? I never did get a call back from Platte River on, and I never did get my blocked emails fixed or released. Just wondering if we're close to getting that resolved.
They are, I hear an echo.
I don't hear an echo.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Okay. It's just on my end, I guess. The they are looking at actually switching email services because they are not getting the results with the current email service.
Okay.
So they don't have a permanent fix at this point. And they did have a temporary fix, but they didn't have anything more than that.
I haven't even gotten a temporary fix.
A temporary fix, okay.
Yeah. So like
Okay.
the email that I should have gotten from Flo Raitano on the affordable housing webinar that's going to be on Thursday, I didn't get. Half of the emails from Jane Thomas are
Okay.
still blocked. So if you've got the emails from Jane Thomas, because there were several.
Yeah. And I had sent her something here at the end of last week. So
Okay. So whatever she needed from us.
she got it. Yeah.
Okay. That's a relief because I couldn't even tell what she needed.
That
Really frustrating.
has been beyond frustrating. And I don't get the hosted anti-spam email anymore at this point.
Wow.
So I don't even know what
What's being
emails I'm
blocked?
what emails I'm.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
I know there's some that are, but
Sure.
haven't gotten anything specific. Good evening, Deanne, although I can't see you at all at this point.
I'm eating dinner, so I'm.
Oh, okay.
It out.
Sounds good. Sorry about that. I couldn't tell. It's completely clouded.
Yeah, I had it up before, but then I decided I wasn't gonna make it through the whole meeting without dinner, so.
Yeah, that's always a question at to get done here between 5 and 6. So
I only tried to go without dinner on my very, very first Board of Selectmen meeting. I thought, oh, it can't last that long. I'll be fine. And it went until after 10. And I was so, just, the tank was empty. I never do that again.
If I'm ever sitting here being outstandingly stupid as opposed to normally stupid, it's because I'm low blood sugar.
oh, that's not good.
Hmm.
I'm trying multiple cameras to see which one works. He's my IT guy.
It's wonderful to have that.
Go to your room. Go to your room. Go, go, go.
We have a lunar eclipse tonight, supposed to be full moon and turn it reddish. We aren't quite square on it, but we should be able to see a lot at 2:47 in the morning.
Do you have your alarm set for that?
Oh, I'll still be up. I'm a night owl.
You're a night owl, huh?
Yeah.
Take pictures for the rest of us who won't be.
I used to be a night owl a long time ago.
I think it might be a genetic thing. My grandpa was a night owl. My mom, his daughter was a night owl. I'm up to all hours. It's real difficult for me to get to bed by 2. It's
Huh.
difficult for me to get to bed by 5 sometimes.
So you just got up and had breakfast, right?
Well, I think I got up at 1.
Look, it's that other selectman from Ward 3.
Hi, new guy.
That's right, Diane, you're not the newbie anymore.
I know. I'm not the bottom one yet.
You've got seniority already.
Ooh. Anytime I'm looking down like this, I'm not ignoring you. I'm making notes. Just saying.
You're fine.
Got you fooled. Ah. Hey, Rich, what's your wording on the back above your head say? I can read the education side, but not the.
It's education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. It's Nelson Mandela.
Terrific.
That's great.
When we did our remodel, I'm in the teen tech lab because I can take Sanctuary and it's soundproof for these meetings. Like over over, on the other wall, there's pictures of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Martin Luther King, Mahatma Gandhi, Rosa Parks, Abe Lincoln, Mother Teresa, Maya Angelou, type of upgrade. Because the Broncos design and marketing team didn't have much to do there for several months. So we gave them something to do.
So if it's soundproof, does that mean you're gonna get rowdy and you don't want everybody else to hear you?
So right now, there's a few middle schoolers listening to rap music.
Oh, so it's soundproof
clean-
on your end.
Yes, clean rap music, but yeah,
Rap nonetheless.
exactly.
I get it.
And I don't mind having that blocked out.
Thus the sanctuary.
Yes.
What remains to be seen is if his death will lead to substantive changes in the law. And that is our show for this hour. Be sure to stay tuned to AC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. Thanks so much for streaming with us.
Hi there, Paul.
Hi, Lynette. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. Hi, Rob.
How are you?
Good.
I just rushed in. I'm just going to go off video and mute myself for a second.
No worries.
All right.
Conversation with stars of friends. We're gonna have to say
Mhm. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's Jerry. Jennifer, was John going to come tonight?
John,
Jennings.
I haven't heard that he was not going to come.
Okay. Okay. Well, we've got a quorum. There he is. Let everybody get their video and audio set and we'll get this rolling. Okay, looks like we're all ready. It is 6:01 p.m. on Tuesday, the May 25th, 2021. And I'd like to call our regular scheduled meeting to order. Would everybody join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I will call the roll. I am Lynette Kelsey, Police Judge. Rob Connell,
Here.
Deanne Powell.
Muted, but here.
Okay. John Jennings, Paul Hinton,
Here.
Mary Smith,
Here.
and Rich Barrows.
Here.
Thank you. And agenda approval. Does anybody have anything they'd like to add or subtract from the agenda?
I do.
Yes, Deanne.
There are a couple places where it could be fleshed out a little bit. I'd like to see the names of the people that we voted to reappoint or continue or whatever.
Okay.
Under
That's in
oh,
the
wait,
minutes.
that's it.
That's in the minutes.
Pretend
You're
I got a clue.
You're ahead of me.
Sorry.
That's okay. So, agenda though, anything to add or? Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
it's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passed. Audience business. Members of the audience have 5 minutes to present any matter of interest not already on the agenda.
And I don't know of anybody that wants to speak during audience business.
Okay. All right. So we will move on. The payables we have in front of us tonight are from May 7th to May 20th, 2021. Any comments or questions?
I'll make a motion to approve the payables from 5/7/21 to 5/20/21.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the payables from 5/7/2021 to 5/20/2021 as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay, now we are on the minutes of the May 11th, 2020 regular meeting. Go ahead, Deanne.
I just would like to see the names of the people there. Let's see, what page is it? Page 3, I think. And we voted to continue with, people who are already there, basically. But I'd like to see the names on the included.
Is that for resolution number 8?
8 and 9 both.
Okay,
Just,
Okay.
It makes it more, less, I don't know, abrupt.
I had that comment as well for resolution number 8, but
9's kind of
Yeah.
sort of the same,
I can go ahead and add those. That's good.
great. Anything else?
I'd like to see a little bit more about the discussion on Strauss Park under the staff items or staff reports or whatever it's called. It's sort of truncated, and there was a lot of discussion that was germane, like the part where it says that that we'd be provided with maps and documents and more information for this meeting, which I haven't been. And then, you know, real discussion would be set up for the next meeting after that. And that's not included in, and it just kind of jumps right to executive session, and it doesn't cover anything about the food trucks that we discussed. This is on page 5.
I see where you're talking about under staff reports, Deanne. For as far as Strauss Park, we were talking about the tree removal.
We
were
were also talking about the zoning requirements,
Yeah,
and I think that's where she's.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
on page 5, right before the executive session. And there should be quite a bit more in there fleshing that out. And there should be that we discussed food trucks too. And that's not in there.
Okay, well, I can add a discussion about food trucks and
One of the things that I think is pretty important to include about the Strauss Park stuff is that Mary Smith and I both wanted to see maps and more info. And we were told that we would have it for this meeting, which I haven't been able to find any paperwork on. And that then our next Board of Selectmen meeting after this one would be when we talk about it. And Lynette talked about it and made it really clear, and Jerry promised that he'd make sure we had that stuff. And I don't mean to pick on you, but I haven't seen hide nor hair of it.
Just to clarify, Deanne, so with an ordinance, which is what this has to be in order to change the municipal code, you always have 2 hearings. One is first reading and one is second reading. You are correct that I remember also that there was some discussion about provide maps being provided for the
And more
discussion.
documentation, more written stuff too, besides the maps. But both Mary and I asked for it. Mary asked for it first, and the more she talked, the more I thought that was sensible. So I also did it the second time we talked about, you know, the second time it came up in the discussion. But I haven't seen any.
I understand. So let's focus on the minutes that we've got.
I'm just
and
saying that should be included in these minutes.
Hang
that
on.
was asked.
So what we're doing here is adding any corrections that are needed to the minutes. And there was discussion about maps and more information being requested. So that should be added in here. What ends up in today's discussion ends up in the minutes from today's meeting. So let's keep them separate.
I'm completely separate with that. I'm only in the
Okay.
minutes from the last meeting right now.
Okay, good.
But there should be mention that we would get the maps and more documentation, and that then after that, we'd worry about the 2 discussionary meetings being added.
Right.
okay, so I can go ahead and add that.
Okay. Anything else, Deanne?
No, I just, you know.
Okay, that's fine. Good, thank you.
Oh, and food trucks. We got to add food trucks.
Yes, already noted.
Yeah.
Okay. So I had a couple of things. So in the corrections amendments to the previous meeting, Strauss Park was spelled incorrectly, and that should be corrected. That's on the top of page 2. Page 3, third paragraph, the word contractor and the word professional just need to be swapped.
Okay.
And then I also had thought that we should be listing the officers for resolution number 8. Bottom of that page, the draft financial statements that Mary Sims provided to us were for December 31st, 2020. And then the other one was from January through March 31st. So if that could, so it was for the whole first quarter. Yeah.
Okay.
And then on the top of page 4, just add a couple of words to the last sentence of the first paragraph. Just add rather than quarterly.
Okay.
And that was all I had.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
anyone else? Who would like to make a motion to approve the minutes as corrected?
I will make the motion.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the May 11th, 2021 meeting as corrected. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. First item on our agenda tonight is the Argentine Street banner bid award for the printing of them.
Police Judge Kelsey and members of the board, this is a request for a bid award for banner printing. Kyle Retton is here tonight. He can answer any questions. This is for the actual printing of the banners. The design itself is in the process of getting, it'll be presented to the Promotions Commission if it get done. But the printing itself doesn't depend so much on the actual design of it. They just need the size and how much it would be for. And Kyle Retton had presented information on 3 different bids that he had received from different entities. And he has a recommendation for Denver Print. Kyle, did you want to say anything else regarding this proposal?
No, I don't have anything to add to what you just stated, but if anyone has any specific questions, I'm more than happy to clear them up.
The only question that I had was if you have worked with Denver Print before, and I presume if you have, you're happy with their work. Otherwise, you wouldn't have recommended them no matter what their bid was.
Unfortunately, I have not worked with
Okay.
them. I reached out to a handful of printing outfits that I have experience with and that I felt like did a good job, and none of them do this type of large format printing.
Okay.
So I got bids from some recommendations from those people, one of which is IMS Printing. And in my opinion, the price was pretty high. So my recommendation here is going solely off of, the impression I got on a phone conversation as well as the price, obviously.
Okay, thank you.
So I've got a dumb question. Signs Inc. Have you ever heard of them?
I have not, no.
Yeah, maybe I've got the name wrong, but they just seem to be a large name in the banner kind of a arena. I just wondered if it was a consideration. They seem to be. It seems to be like a big franchise that you can take on and make banners, and I just didn't know if you'd ever run into something like that.
I have not, but if there's desire for me to investigate.
No. I'm just wondering if that's something that an avenue you might have pursued, but if you didn't, it's okay.
$40 per banner really isn't that much when you think about it. My question is, with the size of banner, I'm assuming they're the same size or close to the size that we've already used along Argentine, Kyle?
That's correct.
And then has there been any, when we do larger banners, like, you know, the long ones that go under the historic Georgetown sign, there's always been a concern about the wind. I know, shocking. And they're created with such a way so that the wind can somewhat go through them, you know, like they punch extra holes in them or whatever. Have we experienced a lot of damage with the banners that have been up in the past? Or have they been provided with that type of fabrication, Kent? That might be more of an answer for you or a question for you than Kyle.
We haven't had a lot of damage. Now, we did lose a banner of the two that were put up at 11th Street, but that was just the recent one, you know, saying historic downtown this way.
Okay.
But as far as the other banners that were put up several years ago, no, we haven't had
Okay.
significant damage to those banners. And they actually are not perforated, because I took one down for Kyle and gave it to him as part of his work on this project.
Yeah, I didn't know if they were or not. Maybe just because of the size and the way they're attached, they seem to withstand our
Yeah.
weather conditions better. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm not sure how old that banner was, but the one that I had my hands on was in great shape.
Good, good. Yes, Deanne.
Oh, I had a very similar query as Mary's is. I wondered what the material was and if it was tough enough or reinforced so that with the holes to let the wind through, it wasn't going to tear, you know, but that's pretty much what got covered. So.
Okay, good. Any other questions?
These are great questions. And without knowing specifically what, you know, the material was initially, I explained to each provider kind of the weather conditions that they'll be faced with here, and they said to me that they understood and that they were confident these would hold up. But past that, I suppose it might be worth considering. I honestly don't think that IMS, the expensive provider, is going to be using, I didn't get the impression that they'd be using any kind of extra stout material that's reinforced in any way. So I think they're all pretty much about the same, but there is a level of opacity when exploring this stuff with people.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a feel, Kyle, for why theirs is like basically double what anybody else's is?
Well, anything I were to say here would be pure speculation, but to be honest, I don't know exactly, and this is not unusual when it comes to printers. Things can vary widely, and a lot of times you don't even see a big difference in terms of print quality.
Okay. Any other questions? I believe there is a recommended motion in your packet, if anyone would like to make it.
Make that motion. I move to approve the proposal from Denver Print for the amount of $2,507.50 and direct staff to sign the proposal.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the proposal from Denver Print. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Good, thank you. Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thanks, Kyle.
All right, and next we have proposed appointment to Business Promotion Commission, Katie Rutten as an alternate member. You've got her letter of intent in your packet, and I'm glad she's interested. It's nice we're not losing her talent. Anybody else?
I move to approve the appointment of Katie Rutten as an alternate member to the Business Promotions Commission.
Second, John.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the appointment of Katie Rutten as an alternate member to the Business Promotions Commission. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 That looks unanimous to me. Wonderful, thank you. Okay, next we have ordinance number 3, series 2021. This is first reading. An ordinance amending section 17.16.050 of the Georgetown Municipal Code concerning the minimum setbacks in the parks and open space zone district. Kent, do you want to start us off?
Sure.
I don't think we can discuss this tonight because we haven't gotten the paperwork that we were promised at the last meeting.
I'd like to hear from Kent first, please.
And I don't have a problem with delaying it till the next meeting, but I want to be clear about what information is requested. And I just want to be clear because I apologize regarding the maps, but when I was thinking about the conversation, I was just moving on. Okay, what could be a solution? And then actually Jerry and I were discussing what could be a solution if there was a solution that the board would want to do. There's more than one situation. I think the maps are a little bit of the situation, but there's, and I'll be happy to provide maps if it's more than just Strauss Park. And I can also bring up the Strauss Park map here if that would be helpful. If that not, and you want the maps in the agenda packet, that's not a problem to provide. This isn't an urgent issue in order to accomplish a change. It's just something that came up in a review, and trying to find that this is going to probably be an issue on more than just the issue that's at hand, which brought it up. It'll be an issue in other parks, but that's the general framework. I guess I would ask just to describe as far as what the ordinance entails. Not that we're going to do anything with it tonight, but I know there needs to be some additional information, but it's more about the issue and not regarding just the specific topic that came up. So,
Okay, actually, then we'll hear from Jerry and then I have a suggestion.
okay.
The-
As you see, and this may affect what material you really need, the solution really that's embodied in this ordinance is just make the setbacks in the park and open space district the same as whatever the adjacent properties are, which is probably the most liberal and what's the right word? Considerate. Yeah, it's probably the most considerate of adjacent properties as you could possibly make it, and that is, we thought, sort of a more elegant solution. That whatever the adjacent property setbacks are, that's what it would be in park and open space that would be adjacent, as if that adjacent zoning extended onto park and open space and gives them that protection. So as usual, you have 3 doors. You can approve this on first reading and direct that additional materials be made available for your second reading. You can simply approve it on first reading, or you can go back to effectively amending the agenda and postpone action on it until your meeting 2 weeks from now. Any of those work? That's all I've got.
Okay. My suggestion would be to go ahead and approve this on first reading, but ask for the additional materials. And the additional materials that I would suggest would be, there is in the Parks Master Plan, there's a map of all of the parks. And then to go with that, if we could have the Georgetown, the zoning map that tells what zoning is around those parks, so that everybody understands what that zoning is. And then if we could figure out what the setbacks from that adjacent zoning requires or allows, just so that we're all on the same page with, I mean, I'm comfortable with the ordinance as it's written, because it requires the same thing of the parks as it does of the adjacent property. However, I understand others would like to see more information and have a better visual and understanding of what zonings we're referring to. So that would be my suggestion. Yes, Deanne.
Okay, going back through the recording of last meeting, around 1.45, Mary asked to see more of maps and information before she wanted to decide. At about 1:59, Jerry promised that he would have a clear package before the next meeting to us. And then when you Lynette, were clarifying what had been covered after that, it was that we would have information for this meeting and discuss it at the next meeting and the meeting after that.
I did not, that's not my, that wasn't the meaning that I was trying to come across with. That an ordinance requires 2 hearings, first reading and second reading. We can have the information available at the first reading. So
last meeting, we were promised that information before first reading.
And if we had gotten it in our packet, it would be before first reading.
But we did, so it
I
isn't.
understand that. I understand that. So, anyone else? Yes, Mary.
I'm not comfortable passing this or starting this on first reading.
Okay.
I believe that we need to take into consideration what open space means as far as the neighbors surrounding these parks. I would rather do it on a park by park basis. I don't think anyone expects a building right on the, within that setback of when they've been across the street from or next to, some type of park in town. I realize every park is going to have different size configurations. And though I know it's going to be a pain to put those maps together, I think those maps and those numbers showing the differences to us, will give us, if we proceed on it as a group or as a, all parks as opposed to no parks, but I'd really rather see us move on it a park at a time. So I'd rather hold back for tonight and not even proceed on this as first reading, just to throw this up the next meeting. Thanks.
I'm in agreement with this same thing. I'd like to see where these potential structures are going to be.
Okay.
And these individual parks.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm seeing other heads nodding as well. So yes, Rich?
Kent, you said that you saw some other potential problems. I think it'd be interesting to know where those parks and those other issues might be.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
Map or...
Absolutely. And like I mentioned at last meeting, there are already a couple structures that are already within the setback. I mean, the tennis court is within this setback because Meadows Park is a very weird configured parcel.
It's an irregular shape. Yep.
The bathroom at City Park will be another one. The playground at Foster's Playground is within the setback. So there's a number of examples, and we'll list them all as far as what could be within each individual park. I did have a question that was brought up to me over the last few days as well, by somebody else, as far as open space. I understood the parks part of it, but the open space, because there's a lot of ground up on the hill that is zoned open space. But in order to build on those, there's no uses allowed within parks and open space, except basically the town ownership of those assets. So someone couldn't build a structure if they happen to own a parcel, which a nonprofit in town owns some of those parcels. But if they sold it to a different entity, they wouldn't be allowed to build. They'd have to rezone it. So it wouldn't be allowed within parks and open space. So it is trying to figure out some of the other, what are the other things that could come up? And we have a combined district of parks and open space. So we have parks, which creates its own set of issues. But then we have open space, which is kind of a different animal, but we've combined them in one zoning district. So then you're trying to have rules for both of those, which may not fit both of those in every circumstance. So that's just part of the discussion that goes on. You know, is this a good change to make? And, you know, what are the issues? What are you're trying to estimate? What are the future issues that are going to happen? Not just the initial issue that brings up, you know, why you're considering the change, but what are future issues that could come up? So you're not going to be able to guess them all. Jerry can attest to that. I can attest to that. You can have the best ordinance in the world and you won't be able to guess all the future issues that could come up out of it, but you try your best. So thank you for making the point.
Any other comments, concerns? Yes, Rich? Oh,
I suppose you ought to take a motion to continue consideration of this ordinance to the next meeting.
I'll move.
That'd be good.
Second,
been moved and seconded to continue this issue until our next meeting. All in favor?
I think it needs to be contingent on us getting the paperwork too, because I'm not willing to make any decision until I see the nuts and bolts of what we're talking about.
And my suggestion is if that material isn't available in the packet next meeting, then you can continue it yet again.
Sure.
All you're doing is continuing putting it on the agenda.
Right.
So it's
Okay.
really amending the agenda, which we did already, but we're now amending it again.
Okay. All right. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Good. Okay, Board of Selectmen appointments to committees. In your packet, you've got a list of the committees that our selectmen also serve on. Usually they declare interest in whatever the committee or commission or other board is. And there's also a description of what that commission or committee is all about. And when available, we've tried to put in there that what their meeting schedule is so that you know what you're committing to. So, and since Keith was on several and isn't on the board any longer, we need some replacements for the ones that he was on. So, and then I also noticed that on Business Promotions Commission on the table, we're still
Oh.
trying to get Mary Smith to stick there instead of John
I'll
Jennings.
stick.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
I don't either. So,
The weeds thing isn't meeting right now, but I would be interested in it if it ever comes up again.
okay,
I'm pretty concerned about what gets sprayed where and it going into water sources and the like.
okay. Yeah, the county defunded that several years ago and hasn't reinstated it. So, but it's always good to have somebody standing in the wings ready to jump in. So appreciate that. Anyone else?
Yeah, does anybody know how often the Georgetown Loop Communications Committee meets?
I don't think it's met since I've been here,
Oh,
last
okay.
2 or 3 years.
Does that mean you want that one, Paul?
Well, out of all of them, that's the one I would be interested in, but I'm also concerned about my schedule. Starting this Monday, I'll be working 7 days a week for the next 3 months. So I don't want to overstretch my bounds, but that's the one I would have been interested in.
All right.
Well, then, Paul, this is right up your alley. I mean, they hardly meet. They work, your schedule's full. Boom, I'd join.
Yeah, but if they're not meeting, it's a moved point. But
Yeah, but doesn't matter.
Put your name on it.
Look how influential Keith was.
Can't have it both ways, Paul.
I
put my
don't.
name on it. If they meet, they meet.
Okay, and you will make whatever meetings you can.
We can call them and ask them and then let you know, Paul.
Okay.
Yeah, this isn't something that has to be decided this very minute, but the sooner the better. We want to.
You didn't feel your souls just leaving your body right then? The sucking it right out. The sucking sound should have been indicating.
Yeah, I was afraid if I leave and go to the bathroom, I'd come back and my name.
You'll be
all sorts
mayor.
of things.
Yeah, you do have to stick around, otherwise appointments can happen.
Things happen.
Surprise.
What about the historic district public lands thing? It says Paul Boat's doing it, but he may want to get out.
Yeah, he doesn't want to serve, or it's going to become problematic for him to serve. So
What does it entail?
they meet on a quarterly basis, and it's there's quite a few members of that committee. It involves a variety of organizations.
My ears perk up when I hear historic district, so.
Sure. Cindy Neely would be a really good resource to go to find out, and maybe go ahead and, we haven't really gotten a letter of resignation from Paul Boat yet. I just know that he was feeling like he was a little bit overbooked. And so he was kind of looking for somebody else to be able to step in and represent Georgetown on this. It's an organization that involves several different entities, because there are lands that are managed by that group. So do you want to have a chat with Cindy Neely, and maybe even if there's a meeting coming up, go ahead and attend the meeting just to see if that's something you'd be interested in?
Missed it by a week. It was last Wednesday,
Oh, okay.
but I'll talk with Cindy. Thank you.
Sure.
I don't know how many of us are needed on the Personnel and Police Committee, but I see Keith and John were both on it. If we need to, and you as well, Lynette, if we need 3 of us, I'd be happy to throw my hat in there.
Wonderful. Thank you.
seeing that Paul's got, you know, the Loop Communications Committee locked down.
He left the room. Hey, let's put him on some,
I know, he missed it. Paul, come back.
I think there's 10 other things we could put him on. Oh, jeez. he's
Quick,
back.
let's do it.
So, the communications center,
What is,
that's the one that, since we, isn't that the one that since we are being, billed on a quarterly basis by the county for dispatch, isn't that the one?
Yeah, they came to an agreement on the dispatch fees, and since then, it's basically, since that agreement is in effect, there hasn't been issues to
Um,
bring up for discussion,
Okay.
so.
So I would be willing to step in and participate in that if it is found to be needed, if that's okay with everybody.
Sure.
Okay. And then I'm happy continuing as the board member on DRCOG, but it is nice to have an alternate standing in the wings in case I can't make a meeting. Does anybody have any interest in filling that position?
That's on Wednesdays or something? What day is that?
It's on the first and third Wednesdays of each month. The first Wednesday is a work session. Those have been canceled from time to time if there's not enough to make it worthwhile for the group to meet. That's from 4 to 5:30. And then on the third Wednesday, it's the regular board meeting from 6:30, usually until 8:30. Sometimes runs longer. It depends on how much they have on the agenda. So.
Hmm.
And, you know, it's right now we're meeting via Zoom. For a while, it was a webinar format, but they've switched to Zoom. So you still have the option of being in a comfy place and not battling traffic or parking downtown. So.
Oh, you want it, John. Admit it.
I don't think I can do the time.
Gotcha.
I think it would crush me.
Okay.
And don't do the crime.
I won't do the crime. I would back you up, Lynette, though, if you run out, if you just need somebody to go out, I could do that.
Well, they need somebody to actually be appointed, and so far I haven't needed anybody to step in and fill in for me, but it's nice to have somebody. And then also you get familiar with the packets and what's being discussed at that level. So it's
Lynette,
not
I'm down-
urgent.
Oh, I'm
Pardon?
sorry. I'm down in Denver a lot, so I could sub for you whenever needed. I think I battle the traffic a lot.
Okay, he's a pro.
I don't know about that.
Well, what will happen then, if you wanted to step into that and take that on, is the town clerk would send a notice to DRCOG and let them know that you are now the alternate, and let them know what your contact information was, so that they can send you the agendas. And, you know, I would let you know if I need you to fill in and attend a meeting in my place. I would let you know as far ahead as I could. So yeah, does that sound okay? I've found it really fascinating, and it's nice to be a part of that group that deals with those regional issues. So, okay, sounds great.
Just don't ask where the doctor is. That's just a bad joke.
Thank Rich. Thank you, Rich.
Okay, have we filled all of the? I think we have. Or we have a tentative fill. Why don't we? Do you want to take action on it tonight on the ones that we know, and then on the one for the Historic District Public Lands Commission, just delay that one until.
So we
the
have a formal
February-
resignation, yeah,
Okay,
which may be at the next meeting because I know Paul had been murmuring about it. So
okay.
Hold on, I might have accidentally volunteered for something.
You did?
Well, Cindy got in front of me. What can I say? I can't say no.
Okay,
Is that 5 times a year? The Lands Commission?
The HDPLC.
Yeah.
yeah.
sounded like it was quarterly.
Well, it's every other month during the school year is what
It's
it
on a
ends up to be.
Wednesday,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she wrote me in. I'm in.
Way to
Okay.
go,
Well,
Rob.
What? No,
Except for
I
one
had
thing,
no
Dan was asking
choice.
about it.
I had no choice. You don't understand.
Cindy,
Rob.
strong
I
armed you.
behaved. How can I say no to the
Excuse
both
me.
of them?
one thing, I think they meet during the day. They meet from like 9 to
Yeah,
noon.
no, I know, and I work. I got a job. I'm like Jerry.
Okay,
You're like Paul.
Well,
Jerry works for a living during the
okay,
day. So do I.
okay. So Rob, just so that you're aware, this is the one that Deanne expressed interest in, so. if
Oh
it's-
no, I'd love to get out of the way.
So if,
Please. I as much as I'd like to, boy, I don't want to get in her way.
no scuffles at the meeting tonight.
No,
so-
no, look at me. I'm a pacifist here.
So, okay, so, but she is still deciding and she's gathering information. So what we could do
If
is.
she wants to go, I'll tell you what, if she's the primary, I'll be the secondary.
There you go.
Or
Okay.
the other way around is fine too. Yeah, that works.
Well, I'll jump in with both feet. I don't really require a lot of information. It's Cindy Neely. How can you say no?
To beat you up.
So whose hand is up the highest for taking on the lead? So, okay, very good.
Yay.
Okay, and Rob will back up.
I am really good at getting people into.
Oh, wait a minute, Deanne, did you hear that they meet at 9 in?
Problematic,
I
but
heard it was 6 a.m.
I have to
She'd still be up at 6.
Okay,
and they're
so,
in Denver.
stay up all night and go, you know.
so that takes care of all of the gaps that were left when Keith was no longer on the board. How about the others? Is everybody comfortable with continuing as we have been
I am.
on all the others? Okay, I'm seeing nodding. Okay, so it looks like the changes we would be making would be for me to step in on communications center, and Deanne would step in on weed management. Rich would step in as the alternate on the DRCOG board. Paul Hingen would step in on the Georgetown Loop Communications Committee. Deanne would step in when Paul Boat formally resigns, and Rob will back her up as needed. And then Mary Smith will step in on the Personnel Committee / Police Committee. Is that agreeable with everybody?
Yeah.
And I'll bet John could say he so moves all those appointments.
I
And
can say-
you'll,
I
and you will
will.
have nailed them all down, just like
I
that.
So moved. All of
I
it.
second it.
And Rob
Thanks.
seconded, okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Excellent. Okay, so we are on to staff items. Under COVID update, you probably have all heard. I just wanted to make sure everybody has been made aware that the county rescinded their mask order. They will be following the state health department orders and CDC orders and guidelines. So there are circumstances where face masks are still recommended. And then in some cases, they could be required. Businesses are able to require them for their customers and their employees if they wish. Just to be clear, just wanted any business who wants to require that, I would support them, because usually there's a good reason for it, and we don't need to know every little detail, but I would support them in whatever they decide is safe for their business. So that's where I stand. Anybody else have any more information on face mask guidance? Yes, Dan.
I have a little, it's not directly involved, but Mesa County has over 21 confirmed cases of the India variant. So we might want to, I'm wearing my mask, that's all I can say.
Yep. There's a lot of stuff going back and forth on our corridor. Yep.
No, it seems to be like an individual preference. And I walk into a lot of businesses just in the case of my job. I'm the only one wearing a mask sometimes. So.
Yep. So the county recovery group actually put on a virtual job fair today. And what I heard earlier today was that it was quite successful. They had 29 businesses sign up for it, and they had 135 job seekers register for it, and actually about 60 turned up in the virtual meeting. So, and there were applications submitted. So this is a good thing. They're probably going to hold more as demand continues. So I don't think any of the businesses, well, I can't say that, but many businesses are not fully staffed yet. So they're going to be still looking. So hopefully that that helps. Anybody else have anything that falls under that COVID update heading? Okay. Next we have Mary Sims. And in your packet, you've got a report that she put together for financial analysis of revenues that compares us with past years. She just wanted to, since she has the capability of pulling in past years and letting us know how we've progressed. We find this out at budget season, and before you know it, budget season will be upon us again. So it's not too early to start thinking about it. So Mary, did you want to?
Well, first, I just wanted to say, I don't know if everybody got the email early this afternoon, because unfortunately, when I was reviewing it this morning, I noticed, well, and Lynette pointed out, there was some, on two of the graphs, there was some strange numbers. And yes, it pulled it in when it was not supposed to. So I did email everyone a corrected report. So if you'll just throw away what's in your packet and use the one that came in a separate email would be great.
So just to clarify, Mary, it was in the in a couple of the tables, there were columns for 1999, 2000 and 2001, and you
Right.
just dropped those and nothing else changed?
That is correct.
Okay. There were two of them like that, so, okay.
But just, I
Okay.
mean, just to point out, from March of 15 to March of 2021, I mean, the bar graph just shows, I mean, we're way, way up, and hopefully we can stay with that trend.
Yeah.
But if anybody has any questions, feel free to give me a holler and
Mary or Kent maybe might be able to refresh our memories on when those sales tax increases took effect. So the parks one took effect.
January of 19.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
And the road and bridge sales tax started 2 years before that.
And that one started in July, if memory serves,
I believe you're correct.
half the year. So, okay. And parks. Okay, just so that if you see an increase that looks a little bit odd, that's part of the increase. So, okay. Any other questions or comments for Mary? I found it very interesting.
Yeah, thank you, Mary, for putting it together, because it was, for me, it was the first time read, and I actually could understand most of it, which is pretty surprising.
Well, I hope you were reading the right one, because I apologize. I'm very sorry that other one got into your packets.
It
I
didn't,
only saw the one in the email, so I think we're good there.
Okay, good.
and it didn't really throw me off that much. It just puzzled me. So,
Well, I was very puzzled when you pointed. How did that get there?
Going down memory lane.
Yeah,
See how far we've come?
yeah.
yeah. So,
I thought it was being very precise and efficient to give us lots of background.
all righty. Next we have Georgetown Days coming up this coming weekend. Looking forward to that. Does anybody have a rundown on all the events and times? Or it's out on the promotions website. I did find it. So if you're interested, Mayor Parker is going to be doing a meet and greet breakfast on Friday morning, starting at 8. Guanella Pass reopening for the summer is happening that same morning, I believe at 9. Saturday is the borough race, and Mary can probably tell us more about the call to duty.
Unfortunately, the call to duty is not going to take place today.
Oh.
Rotary will be on Saturday. Rotary will be volunteering with the town in business promotions to help in certain areas. But because of COVID and they were unable to pre-sell tickets and all that, they felt that it just, they use it as a fundraiser to support the kids at Clear Creek. So the mask unveiling came to,
I
quickly
see.
upon us, and
Okay,
just didn't happen. So
okay. All righty, but the burros are wonderful to watch.
yeah, we could do a running with the burros, like running with the bulls. That could be fun.
And then Sunday is a business day, if I'm not mistaken, and a lot of the businesses are offering promotional items and pricing, so good to check that out. And then Monday at noon, we'll be having a Memorial Day service commemoration at Library Park at noon. So,
Yes.
all right. That's what I know about the weekend.
No parade?
No,
No parade, no.
No
we'd
parade?
never,
No
we haven't-
fanfare?
Not for Memorial Day.
not for
No.
Memorial Day.
We're saving it for the
dancing
4th of
girls?
July.
Unless you're having a parade, Rob. and you've
Yes,
invited your
well,
friends.
I mean,
Is there live music?
Well, we usually have a trumpet player playing taps. And I believe Tim Hammond is going to be playing music at Library Park parts of the day. Oh, and there's
Rob
the-
Solomon instead of Tim Hammond, but yes.
Oh, okay. And then
At the Hotel de Paris in the afternoon on Saturday afternoon, Jim Stalhut.
oh, okay.
He plays in the dining room, but the hotel opens up the doors to the street.
Oh, marvelous.
And apparently he's going to be doing that for most Saturdays this summer, but that'll be a nice attraction for
That is
everyone to get further down 6th Street.
sure.
So yes, there's live music.
Is it
We
the
want to
first
see you
of,
dancing in the street, Rich.
is the first of the mountain jams on Saturday or Sunday?
Yes.
Okay.
I hear Jennifer in the background, yes.
Okay. So, yes, there will be live music.
I don't. Is it live or is it recorded, Jennifer?
Mountain jams are usually live.
I am not for sure on Saturday if it's live or recorded, but I know
I know there's
on
music
Monday it's
occurring.
going to be recorded. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's.
Okay.
Online site says it's on Saturday, it's Rob Solomon and Friends.
Yeah.
Okay. So, live music. All right. Your packet says, your agenda says Strauss Park tree removal ceremony. The tentative schedule was from May 31st, but that's being moved. We didn't want to interfere with the Memorial Day commemoration. So it has yet to be determined. So we'll get that
And
worded
the
out as, go ahead.
The only information regarding the removal of the tree is the trying to make sure as far as the date of the tree to replace it. And don't have an exact date for that. I could definitely have it removed, but I don't want to leave too much of a gap between removal and new. And we have found a tree down at Georgetown Lake that could be transplanted into Strauss Park. And a company has said that they will, but he hasn't given me a quote on transplanting yet. And the other two companies do not want to transplant. They haven't had as much success as the one company has. So I'm waiting for a quote regarding to transplant the tree. And they said yes. They took a look at it and they said yes, we can do it. And it's a very healthy tree that's down at Georgetown Lake already and should be able to survive the environment. So just as long as it survives the transplanting process, it should do fairly well. And it's an Engelmann spruce, whereas the current one, and then Pete Werlin does want to be part of the ceremony as far as the tree taken down, because he was part of the, him and
His mom, I think, was on the parks, wasn't she?
yeah, I was going to
Planted
say,
it.
parents, so I could cover both, because I forgot whether it was
his
or his
mom.
dad.
I think it was Polly. Yeah.
Yep.
Was part of it when they planted the tree.
Yep.
Mhm.
So he wanted to be part of that. But we got to get a quote, and as far as the schedule, as far as transplanting the tree before we set for sure the date to remove it.
Okay.
Is there any way we can get like a Flight for Life helicopter to take the tree from where, fly it, literally. We should literally have like, this is a money maker. I'm telling you.
You
Fly
can
the
do a
tree
parade with
into
the
where
tree.
Strauss Park, have a tree dropping ceremony. I think it
I could ask Rob, but I think
could
I'll
go
know
a
what
long
the
way
answer
with
is. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty
just
sure
try
I
to
know
think
what the
big,
answer is.
outside the envelope.
Okay.
You're way outside, that's for sure.
Think it'll need a stronger helicopter than the Fly for Life, but
You know, there's lives in those helicopters. This is merely a tree.
Yep. So, then on June 5th,
oh, the one question I do have for you folks, maybe you can give a little feedback.
Mhm.
As far as the removal ceremony, would you rather have that during the day or during the evening? I would think the weekend would be too busy this time of year for
would be
businesses
dangerous.
to be involved.
Yeah.
It should be during the week, but whether during the day or in the evening.
Either one works for me. I don't know what everybody else's preference
Little
is.
gasoline and an evening fire might just be what this town needs to
No.
and have a
No.
great party. Come on.
No, that's too big a bonfire, sorry.
Cora Lou would have a fit.
Well, I would
I
have
wouldn't
a
want
fit.
I wouldn't want anything else to catch on fire.
No,
That's for sure.
no. Too easy to go out of control. So evening or day, any preferences?
Doesn't matter. Okay.
Okay.
To make it afternoon.
I think for the locals, if they're working and they have an attachment to it, it makes sense to have it more towards the late afternoon, early evening or whatever,
Okay.
just so that they
I
can
agree.
attend, get home from work and bring their kids if that's important to them.
Okay.
How about on a Tuesday at 6 o'clock instead of a Board of Selectmen meeting?
Field trip.
Oh, that's the only thing we do at the meeting.
You could set up a whole big thing and make it be meet your selectmen and all that kind of stuff. Make it an opportunity, spin this.
You can have the unveiling of the statues then too.
Cool. What do we look like, the Burgers of Calais? They were trudging to their death. Never mind.
No, no, no. So late afternoon or evening is probably preferable. So we'll let you know what we come up with. Thanks so much. The community yard sale date is set for June 5th, and I think you've all gotten the email from Jennifer to spread the word, and she'll add whoever wants to be put on the map if she gets notified in enough advance warning. So that'll be good. The Parks and Rec Commission is sponsoring the annual cleanup day as they do every year. And this year it's going to be on June 12th. As always, we need volunteers to pick up trash and discarded items in public areas. The dumpster, the roll-offs will, I think they're still planning to do them over here in the annex parking lot across, next to Mountain Buzz. And so.
We're gonna have a chipper, or is there a separate dumpster that they're separating slash and tree limbs and all that kind of stuff?
Slashes. Go ahead, Lynette.
Go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead.
Slash will be in its separate dumpster. Yeah.
Okay,
The-
so no to the chipper and yes to a
The
slash.
county doesn't allow us to have the chipper anymore, or
Oh.
to use it, to have another entity use it.
Don't we know
Liability
anybody that
concerns.
works for the county that can?
I don't have
Flip
that
it down
kind of-
here?
I don't have
No.
that kind of influence. It went, that relationship, that willingness to rent it out or allow other people to use it, got canceled when people broke it.
Oh, so you can't even rent it anymore?
No,
No.
Okay. I
no,
mean, not that I've ever tried, but,
afraid not.
okay, as long as there's something separate, that's cool. Thank you.
Yep. Yep. Okay, and then the last thing in staff items is meeting in person. Kent?
Well, it's just a question that has been brought to staff's attention about whether you prefer being on this Zoom, as we've been doing this for about a year at this point, or just over a year, or if you'd like to come back and meet in person. The one thing, you know, we do get additional public participation because of Zoom. And going back in person, we are having Open Media come up, which is it's a organization that helps small communities statewide with their audio visual. And they're coming up, we got them scheduled June 14th, I believe, to clean up some stuff regarding our audio visual coming back into the room. We had video, obviously, before we started this Zoom process. Going back, you know, I've seen discussion, Jennifer's seen discussion on different message boards of different communities and doing a hybrid or doing some types of things. We really need to, and that's some of what discussion we'll have with Open Media, as far as, you know, we only have so much staff to run the video part of the meetings. And right now, in fact, you know, it works fairly well with the staff we have here, but once we're in person, that's not as clear to us as far as having both Zoom and the in-person live recording. That gets to be an awful lot for one person to monitor and take care of. We need them to do one or the other. Having Zoom in person, while we're in person at Town Hall, may present other audio difficulties because we would be close enough each other, the mics would pick up multiple speakers and cause a problem that way. So that's just part of the background as far as for us as staff, trying to make sure we have a decent experience both for the board and also for the public, or for recording it for the public. You know, so that's part of the discussion. It's also, how do people participate? They can come down to the in-person meeting just like they did for many years before. But we've generated this ease of participation that people almost expected at this point. So it would be a little bit of change to go back to in person and say, if you want to participate, submit your comments beforehand or show up at the meeting. You know, it'll still be broadcast. It just won't have the participation element that goes along with it. So that's just part of the discussion. That's kind of the background to add the actual question. Are you guys comfortable with the Zoom meetings? Do you want to continue with it for a little while? Are you having an urgency to go back to in person? Those type of things.
I'll weigh in.
Sure.
Or was that a rhetorical question?
No, we
I
really
want
want to
some
know.
As convenient as Zoom is, and as much as I appreciate it, I think we need to get back into person meetings. However, I think they need to be hybrid meetings. I think this is, you know, this is the picture of the future. The future is now. We need to continue to provide both, you know, especially for our audience. And we can figure out the monitoring so that we can make sure that participants are able to, you know, chime in, or we could read their comments if that's the case. But I also think that we should have, whatever the media company is, make sure that our equipment is is more up to par before we do that, because we'll be rough and bumpy just as our first Zoom meetings were too. But I think we owe it to everyone else to be meeting in a public forum in person, or maybe I'm old school.
Well, I was just gonna say that, you've got a point. I think that meeting in person does have its benefits. One of the things I don't know if this town or this board knows, Annie Wasserman, our own, resident, works for Zoom.
Yeah.
We have a Zoom, like, I think she was one of the founding members. She's very
Wow.
up in the organization.
She's like an upper.
I'm gonna call her. I'm gonna
just
call
saying
her
if there's
tomorrow.
like benefits or meeting, meeting attributes that can be enhanced, like I could look younger or more hair. Those are the things that she can answer. I mean, she's got that kind of a, influence. So I'm just saying, as much as we, we could go both ways, but on the, the, I don't know, digital meeting mode, where we've got one of the big players in our town.
Okay.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yes, Deanne.
Randy wanted to go first.
I'm not really part of putting this in, but I was going to add that I've been part of Zoom meetings and live meetings where we've tried to blend them. It's extremely disconnected. You can't see who you're talking to. It's very disconnected, very difficult, and works poorly. So I think there'd have to be a lot of an adjustment to make it even come close to working. So I think you should think about keeping your Zoom meetings.
Okay. Yeah, so Deanne, did you have a comment?
There are people in town who aren't real tech savvy, or computers or whatever. Consequently, Zoom excludes them, but I like them because I'm home. It's a lot less prep time. I grab anything off my desk or whatever. So I like Zoom, but I also realize that a lot of our citizenry can't participate, doesn't know how, doesn't have the equipment, whatever. And so, it'd be nice if we could do some kind of hybrid, but I see what Randy's talking about, that, you won't really see who's saying what all the time. So I don't know. I think, like Rich works down in town a lot. It's probably easier for him to Zoom, but this is interesting of a situation, because it'd be nice if we could hybrid, but can we do it?
Yes, Rich.
Question for Kent. What's the timeline on the upgrades to the wiring and all that stuff to that meeting space? Because I think that would probably predicate, what kind of timeline if we were thinking about going to in-person or doing it hybrid or whatever.
They'll be up here on June 14th, and then I don't know as far as what their recommendations will be. So since they offer services statewide, that was, even though we'd contact them, a week, 2 weeks ago, that was the earliest they could get us in.
So maybe we should find out what their recommendations are before we make a decision.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there are things about the in-person meeting that I prefer. Just, having all of your faces right there, and I can just look around the table rather than looking at squares. But I do think that having the public have some limited access to us in the public meeting, it's just a little bit concerning until we get a lot more population of the county vaccinated. And then working out the details if we are trying to do a hybrid. What equipment do we need? How does that get set up? Who runs it? Is it easy to run? Is it easy just from a standpoint of, running the meeting? Am I going to be able to tell if somebody who's participating online wants to participate and join in, make a comment, or are we all going to have to do written comments only? Those are all questions that need to be answered before we make the leap. So until then, we've got a Zoom format that's working. So I'm happy to continue that until we can figure out a better solution. Yes, Deanne.
We can't be the only ones with this same problem. The company that's coming up should have some kind of a save for it, wouldn't they? Where there's a screen that could sit by Lynette that shows both the in-person and the video, and would somehow alert her when somebody wanted to say something or something. It just seems like we can't be the only guys that need to figure it out.
Everybody's trying to figure that one out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this would be the solution for Board of Selectmen. There's 7 meetings a month. It doesn't mean it's going to be the same decision for all 7 meetings, because we don't have the staff. Right now, I'm the staff for 3 of those meetings. And I don't want to ask other staff members and basically do overtime or trade time for additional meeting nights a month. I'm here, 6 nights a month with this, and it works decently, but there may be other solutions for the other boards. This is basically for the Board of Selectmen that we're talking about.
Paul, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I'm for the Zoom meeting. Somebody said it earlier, this is the future. The future is now. And it's extremely convenient. Jerry doesn't have to drive up from Denver. I seriously doubt, after doing this for over a year, that there is a significant population that can't do this. It is extremely convenient. And something else to consider, for example, half the population has been vaccinated. I was at Walmart today, and more than 50% of the people, the shoppers in there, were not wearing a mask. So somebody is lying. And that's something to consider for future in-person meetings is, what about our audience? Do I trust all of you that you've been vaccinated? Do you trust me that I've been vaccinated? They are saying we're not going to get herd immunity, and there's going to be another pandemic rising this coming winter when we start going indoors again because of lack of herd immunity. So this is safe, it's convenient, it's easily accessible for people. I like it.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else? All right. Anybody have anything else that they want to bring up?
I'll make that motion.
And what would that motion be, Rob?
To adjourn.
Okay. I haven't heard a second.
I seconded. I was muted, but because I was yelling. Second.
Recordings can't pick up all the sign language. All right, it is 7:25 p.m. and it's been moved and seconded to adjourn. All in favor say aye.
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 Very good. Thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Rich, hang out a second. He's gone.